mean, it's hard to
Alrighty,
say.
welcome back. Another Wisco Fanatics Tuesday evening. We are recapping another Packers game and then previewing another Packers-Bears game. So today we are recapping the Packers' loss to the Broncos. Obviously, we'll get into what they lost besides just the game, but we'll also recap the rest of the game, and then we'll preview the Packers and Bears matchup for Saturday night. So we're going to hit the intro and get started.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Alrighty, so let's get into it. Let's start with the pass rush.
Before I start, I just want to say to our sponsor, Cardboard Legacy, they have been on fire. You guys need to check out their socials.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of crazy cards that have been pulled over the last couple of weeks. My cousin Josh, he's commented on the show before. He said that he went there and one of his buddies actually pulled a Shohei that he sold for $500 today. So if you guys are into card collecting, go check out Cardboard Legacy. They have been absolutely on fire lately. Getting into the pass rush. So there's going to be a lot of discussion that will be had between the four of us, I'm sure, with this section. So 0 sacks on the day, 3 quarterback hits, Gary and Igbari and McDuffie. Going to need to have a lot more of those design blitzes, from the A-gap middle linebackers now that we obviously know that Micah Parsons tore his ACL. There's going to be a lot more design blitzes coming up from safeties, corners, like I said, middle linebackers. 19 hurries from the Packers. That's a good sign. 5 from Parsons, 4 from Gary. There was a bunch with 2, 1, 3s. So here's where I'm at, right? What's up, Connor? How you doing, man? Long time no see. So we know Parsons, this pass rush section was basically me talking about Micah Parsons for a majority of the year, and rightfully so. He was the heavy lifter in that group, right? Micah Parsons is good. Rashawn Gary, I believe, is also good, but he has not been good as of late. He has not had a tackle for loss since week 11. That is what I found, according to stats that I looked at. Since week 11 versus New York Giants, that was on November 16th. That was a month ago. He has not had a sack since week 8 versus Pittsburgh. That was on October 26th. I have worked 310 hours at my job since Rashawn Gary got a sack in an NFL game. That doesn't make me feel better, by the way. And yes, I went back and looked at the hours worked, and I calculated every hour. 310 hours worked since Rashawn Gary has gotten a sack. Rashawn Gary was a 12th overall pick at one point. Lucas Van Ness was a 13th overall pick at one point. And Igbari has improved this year. He's made a lot of big run stops. He is a capable player. Now, losing Wyatt doesn't make me feel better. If we still had Wyatt and we lost Parsons, I'd feel a lot better in the situation that we were in. But losing Wyatt and Parsons, pretty close together, that's tough. But guys like Gary and LVN are going to be the two guys that everybody's going to look to, rightfully so, first-round picks. We spent high draft capital on them that need to step up the most. I wanted to leave this kind of open-ended. I wanted to talk about Rashawn Gary because obviously he's paid to do the thing that we're talking about is rush the passer. So I don't know if you guys have anything to add, but that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Packers Super Bowl option, possibilities are over, but it's cut in half at minimum, in my opinion. That's how I feel. It is an absolute gut punch. Gary has not been nearly good enough. And you can look at one play during this last game where Bo Nix is rolling out to the right, and you see Rashawn Gary give up running him, and then you see Micah Parsons just flying past Gary to get to Bo Nix on the sidelines. Like, I don't know if Gary's just not as conditioned as he was last year, or what's going on with him. I feel like he's just not as quick. I'm not sure what's happening. He's 2 years removed from the ACL now. And I don't think that's indicative of what happens after an ACL injury, because you can look at Adrian Hutchinson, you can look at Adrian Peterson, you can look at all these other guys who are just as explosive after an ACL.
Christian Watson,
Christian Watson, all these people are saying, "Oh, he'll never be the same." Come on now, we're talking about Micah. So yeah, Gary is going to have to 100% step up, because our cornerbacks, the reason they've been even okay this year, and I would say just okay, is because of the quick pressure. For me, I know I cover linebackers. I want to see maybe a lot more blitzes from like Edge Cooper, Quay Walker, because those guys have shown they can get pressure and get home from the second level. They just haven't had to do it this year as much. So I'm hoping that they can be looped in. Colin Oliver could be a weird, interesting type person because he's kind of that player that you can play all over. I don't know. I don't know if he'll be ready to play. We'll see. And then Brenton Cox, he's not an all-star pass rusher, but we're going to need some depth there. So, one fortunate thing is he's coming back. But, yeah, I mean, Lucas Van Ness, I'll say, looked quick in a couple of, his snaps, chasing down a few people on Sunday. So hopefully he can ramp it up from 21 sacks, but we're going to need one of these guys. I'll say this, our edge, like trying to run on the outside against us, if we have LVN and Gary lined up on each side, it's going to be a lot harder for any team. Micah is very good at it too, so we're not going to take a hit there. And like Jake said, Engbari has been playing pretty well in that role as well, so I feel comfortable with that. But we're going to have to find a way to generate some pass rush. And the last thing I'll say is all of us had, before August 28th or whatever the date we traded for Micah Parsons was, all of us, if you would ask us a week prior, what's our expectations for this team? It's Super Bowl. We had the expectations.
Or deep playoffs.
Yeah, we had the expectations before the trade, so hopefully we can still live up to that. Now, granted, we're doing it without Tucker Kraft, Kenny Clark, Wyatt, Clark, Tucker Kraft in that situation, and Jenkins. We didn't all know that Jenkins would not be all that well, but those are four guys who would be doing it without. And if you watch Andy Herman's show, he made a good point about all that this today or yesterday or whatever too. It's kind of where I'm like, yeah, he's making a good point. So I wanted to bring it here in case any of our people don't. But as a kind of an optimistic spin, like we had this expectation before Micah Parsons, so let's continue to say it's not completely dead. Don't get me wrong, it's our chances are hurt, but it's not dead.
Yeah, I agree. If it was a rough weekend, then Connor with Gary, LVN, Kingsley also asked, do you guys think we will see a heavy load of more schemed pressures? I mean, in an ideal world, yes. It's unfortunately not something you can just be like, yep, we're just going to draw up that play that gets pressures every time. You'd like it to work that way, but it doesn't always. Yeah. And we'll talk about that a little bit in the Bears preview, just because there's some things to say with that. But let's do the recap. Like Brian said, I had 22 snaps for Lucas Van Ness, but he started at D tackle, which I think is really interesting. I thought that they would try to kind of use him to potentially cover up Devontae Wyatt's injury a little bit, but now obviously without Micah, that throws another wrench in that plan as well. I would say the losing Micah is obviously devastating, coupled with the loss of Devontae Wyatt. In my opinion, those are the two best players on the defensive line. That's what makes Brian's point of, it doesn't eliminate the Packers from Super Bowl contention, but it puts a pretty big dent in the idea. Other than that, Micah did actually end up playing some snaps on defensive tackle on the first drive and got a strip. So forced the first turnover of the game on a fumble. Jordan Riley recently picked up. He played 16 snaps. He had 2 pressures and a tackle. So he's potentially another guy to help fill in that D line if they decide to move Lucas Van Ness back out towards more like defensive end. I will say, and Simon's going to cover this, they did do pretty well versus the run, but a lot of that came from the linebackers. So I'll leave that for you guys. But Simon, what did you think about the run defense?
Yeah, it was. This was a really, really strong effort from the run defense. Like Tyler alluded to, it was a lot of the linebackers, and I feel like the secondary also came up and played the run really, really well this week. Like I thought Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney were both really excellent versus the run and playing in the box. And they held RJ Harvey to 65 yards and 19 carries. He had a touchdown, but Micah Parsons also forced a fumble on the first drive of the game, which was huge. And then they also held Bo Nix to 10 yards on 7 rush attempts. And for all the underdeveloped NFL fans that still think Micah Parsons can't play the run, I don't know what to tell you. I see things a lot differently than
He's
that.
Talking to you, Skip Bayless. He's talking to you.
Just anyone. I don't know. I feel like maybe that's like it's just preconceived notions based on some comments that were made from like Jerry Jones and other big media members, and people aren't willing to change their minds. And I mean, you can't, without sitting them down in front of a film room and being like, look, I don't know. It's hard to
smash an iPad in their face and being like,
look at it.
Jerry Jones did it to try to justify his trading of Micah.
Yeah.
And we've seen over and over again that it's just not true.
Yeah, and this year's been completely different. I don't know if it's like a difference in scheme between what Dallas did versus what Green Bay's doing and expectations of Parsons, but he's been, I wouldn't say he's been elite or by any means, but he's been good this year.
Good.
At the very least, he's been good.
I would say very good.
Yeah, I'll even go as far as say very good, but he's been way above what people talk about where they think he's at. And it just, I don't know what to tell you at this point.
Connor said it too. Fans took Jerry's comments and ran with it, even though it's not close to true.
Yeah.
The thing about that is it's easier to just take somebody's word than to do some work and develop your own opinion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's common in a lot of aspects.
Yeah. Or I mean, at the very least, like if you just generally don't know, it's okay to say you don't know either. Like I'm not gonna, dog on you too much. But on top of that, Broncos only forced one missed tackle on running plays. It's huge. And they had a long of 8, which is huge. Overall, they ran the ball 31 times for 89 yards. Like I don't think you can ask much more of the run defense than what they did versus the Broncos.
Yeah. All right. Brian, linebackers and tackling.
Yeah, I mean, linebackers, it's been the same story all year, right? Good in run defense. They definitely did a good job in run defense, and then just not that good in coverage. I'm back to the Isaiah McDuffie probably doesn't need as many snaps as he gets. I mean, I'm going to be honest. He just sucks in coverage.
No. It's cool because now that he says this, Isaiah McDuffie's going to go ball out this week.
Isaiah McDuffie, if you're watching, you're a bum. Right?
Reverse psychology. I like it.
Like, I swear, it's like he'll drop in coverage. He'll either drop way too deep or not deep enough on the given play. I've watched him look at a wide receiver, watch him stand there, and then just stay in his spot. And then the quarterback zips because guess what? All the quarterbacks in the NFL can throw the ball 55 miles an hour. Zip it to him, and then it's like, oh, first down. But he gets a tackle right away, so it's like, oh, good job, Isaiah. You're right there, and you didn't allow any yak. No, pressure him a little bit and make it a tough catch. I'll say I thought Cooper had had a couple tackles for loss. The one play was awesome. Quay Walker was fine. He's kind of flying all over. But, I mean, as far as tackling, I guess if they talk to CV about wrapping up, he just doesn't care. Like, I don't think he was going for a pick six because he was behind the guy on that play. Like, so wrap him up and just hit him right there. So, and then the couple chances that we got to get Bo Nix down, we didn't, make that count. And so it hurt a little bit, but overall, I don't think missed tackles were the reason we lost this game.
Mm-mm.
How do they do on 3rd and 4th down defense, Jake?
Actually, a lot better than you would think. There's a later section that I'm going to talk about where that really was the area where they let up a lot of stuff. So 3rd and 4th down, 4 for 11 on 3rd down, 2 for 4 on 4th down. In the first half, 2 for 6, forced a fumble. We talked about that from Micah. They only had 2 attempts from 3rd and long. So, I mean, you would like to have a little bit more of that. The 2 4th downs that they converted, one was a 4th and 1 after we stopped them on a 3rd and 1. And this is really what I wanted to talk about was the 4th down that they converted. They threw a pass that was a 3rd and 13. Oh, yep, 3rd and 13. They threw a pass to Sutton where it just missed. And I'm telling you, it just missed. And they were picking on Nixon all day. And I talked about it last week. I said, you guys have to stop Sutton. He's the guy. He's the wide receiver. Now, I understand other wide receivers were the ones that scored the touchdowns, but he was the chain mover. He was one that kept the drives alive. And I will give credit to Bo Nix. He did a nice job manipulating the pocket, moving the pocket, and then giving his guys extra time to get open. But a lot of times he was just throwing it to Sutton. The same play that they ran on 3rd and 13 is what they ran on 4th. and it worked that time. And he was wide open. I don't know what Keyshawn Nixon is thinking on any given play, but I'm going to tell you, when you're standing directly in front of somebody, you probably want to get your fucking hands on him. That would be a good start. That's literally how you press man. Not just stand there and be like, oh, dang, he's over there now. Oh, my goodness. You guys have no idea how many times I had to walk away from my TV. I was going to rip that thing off the wall and chuck it outside. I was getting so mad. Oh, Keyshawn Nixon makes me so... Go to the next.
It's crazy because he can make a play like he made last week, and then he just plays like absolute trash, and then we're not rolling. It should have been Nixon, and I put Xavier McKinney on top of Sutton and just double team him the whole game. I'm sorry, I don't care at that point.
How do you watch Nixon get his ass beat all day and not roll his safety over there? At the very least, Carrington Valentine could cover somebody. He's not going to tackle, he's not going to catch the damn ball, but at least he's going to cover somebody. Nixon doesn't do any of those things.
Carrington did get burnt by Sutton on a play too.
One time, but
yeah, it was yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, might as well. Go ahead, jump into the secondary, Simon.
All right, I'm not. Excuse me. Yeah, like we kind of just said, I don't know. It was like this is like very eerily, like I see a lot of like no consistency throughout the game. Like I thought the secondary played pretty well in the first half. I don't know what the heck happened in the middle of the third quarter to the end of the game. I don't. Keyshawn Nixon, he looked all right. I'll start with the negatives at least. Keyshawn Nixon didn't look good. I thought this was one of his worst games of the season, like pretty easily.
Made Bo Nix look like.
Yeah, he looked. Yeah, and Cortland Sutton is a good wide receiver, so I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But like, man, Keyshawn Nixon looked lost on a couple, like not even close. And like, there are times this whole season where I'm like, you know, Keyshawn Nixon let up a long pass, but like he was right there on the dude, and it's just like you tip your cap to the guy. No, this was not this game. He got burnt a few times really badly on like double moves and stuff, and it was tough to watch because it always, and I know we just talked about like the third downs, like they didn't do well, but like, dang, did we have them in like some nasty spots and throughout the game, and it just seemed like they were converting over and over and over again. The numbers don't speak to what maybe I saw, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
It was really tough to watch. Valentine, he got burnt once, but I don't feel like he had a terrible game. He did drop an interception, and then he forced an incompletion. It's just, man, you guys PFF credited with 2 dropped interceptions. I thought McKinney had a chance at 2 of them. The first one might have been a little tough, so I get them not counting it. But the second one, he should have absolutely came away with that long ball. He baited Bo Nix so bad, and just didn't come up with it. So
if we pick off even half the balls that hit our cornerback safeties in the hands, this looks like a complete different game.
My bold prediction would have been true.
Yeah,
bro, think about the whole season if we hang on to half of our interceptions.
Yeah. I just looked through all the games, and PFF has us credited with 6 drops interceptions.
Seems light.
I thought so too, without going back and watching every single game. But I wouldn't. I'd believe it if someone said closer to 10.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, there's 4 to this game that you could arguably say you should have caught. McKinney's good enough to catch the one on the sidelines.
Yeah. I agree. I count it as a drop, but it is what it is. I thought Bullard had kind of a tough game too, both in run stopping and coverage. I thought this might have been his worst game in weeks, if not the season. On the bright side, I thought McKinney played a really solid game overall, and Hobbs had 11 snaps. He didn't allow a catch in his direction. I thought he was pretty good in coverage. McKinney didn't allow a catch in coverage either. And I think those were the two bright spots. But yeah, Valentine and Nixon had a pretty tough outing.
Connor wasn't a fan of Nixon on Sutton and man coverage either, and
Yeah.
that's something we'll get to the coaching aspect of it when we get to the preview. I have something from Matt LaFleur.
Okay. Nixon just is not good enough to be a number one cornerback in the league.
Alrighty, Jake, red zone defense.
I do not want to talk about this, but we allowed the Broncos to go 4 for 4 in the red zone. First attempt, they ran one play, a 3rd and 3. It was a 20-yarder from Nix to Bandy, touchdown. Second attempt, they ran 4 plays, 2nd and 5 from the 3 plays, my fault. 2nd and 5 from the 17. Nix hit Franklin for 10. 1st and goal at the 7, 2-yard run, and 2nd and goal at the 5, touchdown pass. Third attempt, 1st and 10 at the 16. Harvey had a 2-yard run. 2nd and 8 at the 10. Nixon touchdown to Sutton. Fourth attempt, 1st and 10 at the 15, incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 15, 7-yard run by Harvey. 3rd and 3, there was an offsides by Anik Bare. The 1st and goal at the 4, Harvey touchdown. We allowed Bo Nix to go 4 for 5, 49 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the red zone. That is where he dominated the game. Now, he was very good, like I said, manipulating the pocket, moving, giving his guys options, but he was very accurate in the red zone. Played on time, and the Packers just didn't make enough plays in the red zone to win this game. And then, obviously, if you guys are a fan of the show and you watch, Tyler's going to talk about how the red zone offense let us down. So the red zone between the 20 and the goal line was where this game was lost for the Packers, in my opinion.
Yeah. All righty. Brian, touch field about special teams.
Yeah, I mean, good job by McManus making all his kicks. I don't know what else you could really ask for. Nothing crazy. Mims had one good return early in the game. Other than that, we were pretty good in coverage. Whelan had the one terrible punt. I'm sorry. You can't be punting from like the 50-yard line kicking in the end zone, because then why did we even punt? And actually, I think we were on their side of the 50, and then he kicks it to the end zone. Like, just get it to the 15 or 10. Like, come on, man. You're an NFL kicker. Like, other than that, I don't love seeing Emmanuel Wilson being the one getting all these kick returns. I'm sorry. I've said this several times this year. I know you guys say we need Nixon as cornerback. I don't think it's like, I'm not saying I want him to go and get injured, but I stick him back there because where he's burning, he's not hurting, helping us as much at cornerback. He's helping us a little bit. He's made a couple plays. Don't get me wrong. He made an amazing play, heads up play last week to seal a game for us. But it's very small spurts that he does something like, let's go Nixon, like great play or whatever. Put him back there where he can impact a game. The fact that all we said was, it's going to suck because everyone's going to kick away from him or whatever, the prior 2 years. And all of a sudden now everyone's pretty much forced to kick you to your returners. Are they giving you ball at 35? Now we're not putting him back there. Fine. And you know what's going to happen if you put Nixon back there? They're going to kick it to Bo Melton, which is fine. It's better than Emmanuel Wilson. If anything, just put him back there as a decoy. And if they want to kick it to him, fine. Let him kick it to him, because he might take it to the house on you. I'm sorry, I don't trust Emmanuel Wilson to be able to do anything, because you watch him run the ball, and there was one real egregious play running the ball where he just runs right into the offensive line instead of going left to the huge hole. Not trying to get ahead of everything, but I think but so I'd like to see Nixon put back there, to be honest. Like, hopefully Savion's back. He would have been limited today, but I do not like Emmanuel Wilson returning kicks, and I feel like
that was weird.
At this point, we need a spark or something. Put freaking Nixon back there and let him take one to the house.
Alrighty. I would say one particularly bright spot, Simon tight ends.
Yeah, it sucks seeing Wiley get hurt pretty early in the game. I think he only ended up with a couple snaps, but I thought the tight ends had a pretty strong showing. I will say negatively, Fitzpatrick and Musgrave both had a drop this game, which sucks to see. But outside of that, Musgrave had 4 catches for 52 yards. Fitzpatrick had 3 for 18. I thought they both contributed pretty well in the pass blocking game. I thought they both did an excellent job helping out early. So overall, this is what the tight ends should look like, in my opinion, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Brian, wide receivers.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting game from the wide receivers. Nice to see Matthew Golden get back involved pretty well. There's no one had a huge game or anything. Obviously, it sucks that Christian Watson got hurt. It's kind of annoying. Like his dad's going insane, man. Like trying to blame it on an underthrow and everything else. And it's like Jordan Love was getting rocked. Christian Watson could have also fought back for that ball instead of just holding his hands out down here to hope it falls into his lap. He could have, gone to the ball or reached out for it.
If it wasn't like a, top 1 or 2 tight end or cornerback that he was going
it's the best cornerback in the league
to let that ball travel to him. But I mean, you got to see before you're lining up, you realize that that's number 2, that's Pat Surtain. So
and a little more. The funny part was I seen, this week that basically Christian Watson's dad was like, "Good, let him line up 1-on-1 with Surtain." I'm like, "You're an idiot." Like Christian Watson's very good. I mean,
Watson did beat him.
He did.
He beat him, but that's what makes Surtain so great is that he can recover. And you're not always going to have perfect throw.
The ball.
Yeah,
that was an amazing interception. I mean, that's a great play.
Crazy.
Credit where it's due. That was a great play by him.
And Christian Watson's been great. I'm really glad to hear it's
minor.
I would still be a little surprised. Matt LaFleur said today that it'd be kind of a functional issue as well as a pain tolerance issue. So we'll see what happens. It sucks that it's a short week. I'll tell you that much. So we'll see what happens with him. I'm glad because he's a huge part of our offense. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything from Christian Watson. He's an amazing player and he changes our offense for sure. But it was nice to see Matthew Golden kind of flash a few times, make some nice plays. Jaden Reed, making some big plays, and then Romeo Dobbs got a little back involved this game too. So we'll see what happens going forward, how much time any of those guys are going to miss or anything. But overall, it was a solid game from the wide receivers. Nothing crazy, nothing terrible. The one interception, I can't really blame Dontavian Wicks on. Yeah, it hit him in the hands, but that's a he's running the other way, and if you go back and watch it, he's like running full speed the other way and jumps and tries to reach back and grab it, and he just doesn't get it. So if anything, you'd like to see him just let it fly past his head, but the whole thing is if it hits you in the hands, you should catch it. So
let me jump in. First of all, I thought that Watson maybe should have slowed down. If he gets ran over there, all the flags are offensive anyways, probably getting a fucking PI. Okay?
Yeah.
That's point number 1. 2, I'm amazed that Christian Watson is as level-headed as he is because his dad is a freaking – that guy is off his rocker, dude. I cannot stand that guy. He calls himself Hitman, then he blocks everybody. Shut your mouth. Okay?
He's hitting the block button.
You obviously can't handle the smoke, buddy.
And we've been supportive of his son the whole time. He just still –
We really have been. Right there, I have the Christian Watson apology form signed by Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Dude, I freaking love Christian Watson. And the third point I was going to make is I'm going to pat Tyler on the back because he said something a couple years ago about Devontae Wyatt. As Devontae Wyatt goes, the pass rush goes. I feel like as Christian Watson goes, the pass game goes. That's I mean, look at how different the game was when Watson left.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they tried to work Matthew Golden in. He made some nice plays, like you said, but we couldn't run a lot of the stuff that we were running earlier in the game. What the hell happened? I thought Jordan Love was fantastic in the first half, and I know that we'll get there, but
he was amazing.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Connor is getting to a point that I'm going to get to, so don't get too far ahead of me. Scott said it was really bummed to lose so many players, but people are counting us out now. Let's repeat 2010. Love that idea. Looking at the passing game distribution, 10 players were targeted, 9 different players had receptions. Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave led the team with 6 targets each. Christian Watson had 5. Looking at the distribution of depth, the Packers were 3 for 4 behind the line of scrimmage. 12 of 16 on 0 to 9 yard passes. I'm fine with that. 5 for 10 on 0 to 19. This is one of those areas where, to use Jake's, to paraphrase Jake, something I've said, I say as goes that 10 to 19 yard range for Jordan Love, so goes his game. This is the opportunity area. That's the area that he's inconsistent with at times. When he's at his best in that area, that's where he's doing well. That 10 to 19 yard range, that's the make or break depth of target for Jordan Love. Other than that, he was 4 for 6 on 20 plus yards. I love that, even with the interceptions. Also threw another deep touchdown this week to Josh Jacobs. But, I mean, overall, I have no complaints with the passing game distribution for the Packers. So, offensive line.
Yeah, they did good in the running game. Kudos to them. After Zach Tom went out, the pass protection wasn't. Yeah, it went downhill quick. But Rasheed Walker, man, he is costing himself tens of millions of dollars. He's probably costing us a comp pick at this point.
Bro, he might stay a Packer. He's getting so cheap, bro.
I don't want him to stay a Packer. I was going
to say he might be winning Jordan Morgan a starting job next year.
If Zach Tom wasn't injured, and I don't know if Jordan Morgan's going to slide over there. I know Kennard filled in, but he was okay. But I would take a look at Morgan right now at left tackle with the way Rasheed Walker's playing. Think about it. He cost us a touchdown essentially because we were down to the 4-yard line. Takes our 3-yard line with first and goal or second and goal or whatever. Or I can't remember the exact situation, but we probably punch it in there. He gets a stupid penalty and we're backed up again. Like he had 4 penalties thrown against him this game. I think 3 were accepted. Just he is not playing well. So I'll say I'm happy. The run blocking has been much better, and I don't want to jump too far up, but I think that's going to be a key this next week if we plan on winning this game. But the run blocking, seeing some holes created and stuff like that. Josh Jacobs he busted off of several decent runs, so I'll let Simon talk about that. But overall, we need Zach Tom. Our better plan. Well, let's put it this way: we were playing the best defense for sacking the quarterback in the NFL, so we got to take that consideration. Maybe Kennard looks a little bit better if he starts at right tackle versus the Bears, who have 23 sacks or whatever sacks they have on the season versus
Denver
58 or whatever.
58.
Yeah. On NFL record matching pace.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Scott, that's kind of where Bryant is going with that. We'll kind of get into who's going to fill in for what should Tom potentially miss time. But Simon, how did you feel about the running game?
Sorry, Detroit just scored. Red Wings. The running game. This was Josh Jacobs' probably best game of the year. Not to dig too much, that touchdown pass he caught was filthy. He mossed Greenlaw, one of the better linebackers in the league. That was such a great catch by him. Good throw by Love, a damn better catch by Josh Jacobs. He ran the ball really well too. That he had the longest running touchdown run of this year for him. Excuse me. He took 12 for 73. I thought the run blocking was really solid again too. I think Jordan Morgan sliding him out of that right guard spot and inserting Anthony Belton was a major upgrade in that aspect of the game. I thought Jordan Love looked really good scrambling the ball too. He had 29 yards on 3 carries, and he picked out some really good times to run the ball. And I think that's one of his parts of the game that has really upgraded this year is when he chooses to run and what he can do with it. Brooks took a couple for 10 yards. Melton had an inconsequential jet sweep for 0. Yep. And then Wilson, this is what we've been saying. His one play where they opened this fat running lane up in the left and he just went center. I saw it and I was like, oh man, he's going to get such a huge gain out of this. Ran right in the back of his players. I was like, bro. But that's what you get with Emmanuel Wilson. He's just he hits the hole and bursts through it type of guy. He's not much of a
patient runner.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. And that is what it is. So he had 2 carries for 3 yards. But the running game looked exceptional when used. And I think, I don't know, it's kind of tough because listening to what the fans had to say, it's oh, why didn't we run the ball more? Or I don't know, you win some, you lose some in that battle, right? Because like then if they run the ball and it's not working, then Matt LaFleur got too conservative. But if they chuck the ball down the field and you get an interception by Pastor Tan on an incredible play by him, then it's they should have ran the ball. It's like I don't know.
Well, you're just never going to make everybody happy, right?
You're not going to make everyone happy.
Some weeks you won't make anybody happy.
Yeah.
And Steve brought up a good point. Those shot plays help the run game. It absolutely does. If you're afraid of it, I mean, how many times do you have to hear us or other Packers shows or just NFL discussion in general hear the phrase "take the top off the defense"?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against Jordan Love, who I know people kind of crap on him for the deep ball, but I think he's been pretty good this year with it. You're not going to be 100% on deep balls. That's just not how NFL passing works. Yeah. But Christian Watson's also been pretty incredible on the deep ball as well since he's been back. So, like, why bet against something like that? Just but run game good this week.
All right, 3rd and 4th down offense.
I thought they were all right, actually. First half, 3 for 6, and they got a touchdown on a 3rd down. They averaged 4.6 yards to go, so not bad. You're living good, right? You get into the second half, they were 3 for 7. They had an average of 10.7 yards to go. Probably not where you want to be when you're going against a defense that's probably going to set the sack record. That's literally where they want you to be.
Yep.
I will say that Love picked up some pretty crucial ones. I picked up a 3rd and 4 where he found Golden for 27 yards. That was a really nice throw, really nice catch. Golden looked really nice on that play. He got sacked on a 3rd down. He picked up a 3rd and 13 by running for 24, as we mentioned. And he also picked up a 3rd and 9 throwing to Golden for 10 yards. So Matthew Golden was really, really good on 3rd downs, I thought. He's going to have like the opposite of a sophomore slump. I think he's going to be a riser next year. He's gonna get a lot more opportunities. He's going to eat next year. He's going to take all those Wick snaps. He's going to take all those Romeo Dobbs snaps, and he's just going to turn into an absolute beast, I think. So all the people that are down on him right now, I want you to stay on that side because I think he's coming.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, especially from our fan base, just want to see more of him. I don't think anyone. Well, that's not true. I've seen some, but most people see a lot of what Golden can do, and they just want to see more of him. I think it'll come. I think next year there's plenty of opportunity to go around. I don't think we're retaining Dobbs. Someone's got to take those snaps.
Steve, I would say his injury probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he was limited in the first matchup against the Bears, and obviously he was out for several weeks before that.
Yep.
So I would say as the season has ramped up, then getting injured, it makes it hard to develop chemistry when Love and Golden have only played together for a handful of games. And some of those games were the games where I had problems with the way that Matt LaFleur was coaching and calling some of those games and being a little bit too conservative and not having the training wheels taken off. So I would say those are all the factors that contribute there. Looking at red zone offense, I think Jay kind of alluded to this, saying that this is where the Packers were, letting down themselves and potentially losing the game here. I will say the Broncos have the number 1 red zone defense in the NFL. So that's worth mentioning. It's not like, you just get to exert your will on the opposing team. They have a say in it. And the Broncos are the best at having the say in it. That said, there's more to it than just the Broncos being good defensively in the red zone. First trip to the red zone, the Packers have a 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Jordan Love has a pass to Romeo Dobbs for 8 yards, wiped out by an ineligible man downfield penalty. 1st and 15 at the 17-yard line, Jordan Love ran for 4 yards. 2nd and 11 at the 13-yard line, Jordan Love to Christian Watson for 5 yards. And then a 3rd and 6 at the 10-yard line of Jordan Love pass to Romeo Dobbs is incomplete, and the Packers settle for a field goal. This is coming off the turnover. So, again, that's an opportunity where it was like, hey, you can go jump out on a lead, steal back, the first possession of the game, and, obviously still be possessing the ball at the end of the the beginning of the next half and, steal some points. Second trip to the red zone, Packers had a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Jordan Love passed to Jaden Reed for 11 yards. You get 1st and goal at the 9 and an illegal shift. Then they get first and goal at the 14, 2 incompletions until Jordan Love throws a beautiful touchdown pass to Josh Jacobs for a touchdown. So the Packers scored on that one. Right before the halftime, it does count. Unfortunately, this does count as a red zone trip, even though they ran out of time. They kicked a field goal on a 3rd and 4 in the red zone, so that does count as a red zone trip. But they did get a field goal out of it, so they still scored. They just didn't get a touchdown. And then the 4th red zone trip, they had a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line after that 27-yard pass to Matthew Golden that Jake just mentioned. Set them up at the 18-yard line. Ran for a 1-yard loss, had 2 incompletions, and kicked another field goal. So we're talking about an opportunity where obviously all touchdowns and extra points equals up to 28 points. And I would have liked to see the Packers walk away with at least 20 and have 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. I could have lived with that. But walking away with 1 touchdown and 3 field goals and taking 16 points out of a possible 28 is a rough way to go, especially when you're losing the game by 8 points.
Yep.
So there's a big opportunity there. I understand even if you say they score, that extra touchdown and they score those extra points, it doesn't mean that the Packers automatically win. It changes the way that the Broncos play the game, but it does affect the final score absolutely. Looking at coaching and time of possession, I'm going to jump in on this before we talk about Jordan Love, just because my biggest takeaway from the coaching staff is that this Packers team needs to be penalized less. 11 penalties, 10 of them accepted for 72 yards. Like Bryant said, Rasheed Walker was credited with 4 of them. Belton and Fitz each had 1. Kingsley and Egbari had 2. Javon Bullard had 1. And Isaiah McDuffie had 1. Looking at what these penalties meant for the Packers, one of them cost Josh Jacobs another touchdown. One of them was on the Packers' final drive that stalled a drive that made it harder for them. They had a 1st and 15, so made it farther to go to try to move the ball down the field. And another one stalled a drive that ended up leading to a field goal. Then you look at the defensive penalties. 3 of them, in my mind, helped the Broncos score touchdowns. Giving the Broncos an offsides, Kingsley and Egbari, an offsides, giving them a 1st and goal inside the 4-yard line instead of 4th and 3 at the 8. That's 4 points. You talk about, if you get those extra 4 points on one of your red zone trips and you take away those 4 points there, you're looking at a 30-30 game.
Yep.
And then you don't have to get a touchdown at the end of the game. All you have to do is get into field goal range. So there's opportunity there. That's what makes this kind of frustrating, where it's like, yes, even if the Packers didn't lose Micah Parsons, they still could have lost this game. But even with losing Micah Parsons, they still could have won this game, or at least had a chance to go into overtime and then have a chance to win it.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest takeaway as far as coaching is concerned. They did overcome a couple of those penalties, like the one with the illegal shift. That one was called on Fitzpatrick. That is what it is. They overcame that one, still scored a touchdown on that drive. Other than that, time of possession was almost dead even, so there's really nothing to take away there. So we can jump into Jordan Love, and Simon, I'll let you go first. Give me your thoughts on Jordan Love.
He had all right. We talked about both the interceptions. I think the second interception was on Wicks. I know it wasn't the best throw. I still think he had opportunity to catch it. I think if you ask Dontavian Wicks, he probably said he should have caught it too. Yeah. Wasn't the best ball. I understand he was running the opposite way. He got both hands on it and slipped through. It wouldn't have been an easy catch, but I think it was very catchable. I thought he absolutely was destroying them that first half. I felt like he just could not miss. He was so good. I was like, dang, this is like, and he did it against one of the best defenses in the NFL too. He was just throwing out dimes, and then after that interception, and then injury to Christian Watson, it just changes the offense so much. And then losing Zach Tom hurt too. I thought the interior offensive line and pass protection was not great this week. I thought they got beat really bad on that left side. Banks was really good in run blocking, but he was absolutely putrid in pass protection. I thought that was kind of like a tale of two halves. I thought they did a pretty good job in pass protection in the first half, and then it just sort of fell apart. And then after that, it was really hard to find an open receiver. at the end of the game. Like the Broncos defense was riding such a high, and their pass rush was just getting right in Jordan Love's face, and he just couldn't make a throw on time. But overall, like I thought it was very encouraging what we saw Jordan Love do when he had enough time to throw and the receivers are getting open. Also, Golden absolutely cooked Riley Moss like all game. I don't know. He does not have the speed to keep up with him. But and then I talked about earlier, Jordan Love's been so good on scrambling the ball this year and making the right decisions and picking up first downs when he can. I thought he's been absolutely spectacular.
Sounds like Steve agrees with you. Steve said Wicks' reaction on the sideline tells you that he knows he has to catch that ball.
I agree with that.
And then said that Love's pocket awareness is such an underrated element to his greatness. That's absolutely true. I had this conversation actually with somebody the other day. Like, he's one of those guys, and I would put like a Dak Prescott or like Justin Herbert in this conversation of guys that can run, but it's not the first thing they're looking to do. Like, they keep their eyes downfield and then kind of feel out when to run.
I know a lot of people don't think about him this way, but I also feel that way about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence,
I agree.
Athletically,
He can run pretty well. He doesn't do it that often.
Yeah. Off topic, that team is on fire right now.
Yeah, they look good.
Trevor Lawrence has looked really good.
Their defense is good.
Yeah.
All right, Bryant, how did you feel about Jordan Love?
Yeah, I thought. I mean, a couple balls behind, like we talked about with the Wicks, a couple other throws, but overall, I feel like once the momentum, like it was like a cosmic shift in reality when that injury happened. Like, we're up at 9, feeling like we're about to go in here and take this game from 11-2 team. The Rams are having trouble with the Lions at the time. I think Seattle was losing to Indy at the time. Like I'm sitting there looking at everything, man, this could really turn the tables for us, dude. This could be huge. And then that injury happens and the interception and everything just kind of fell apart. I feel like all the air left the stadium, or a lot of the air left the stadium right there on offense, and then the rest of the air left the stadium on defense when Micah went down all in that third quarter. So I felt like Love did what he could do to try to get us there, but unfortunately I just wasn't a huge fan of the plan really on the couple of chances we had to go down to where we had to get down there to try to get 8 points. Just need better play there, but he was getting pressured, sacked. I mean, it was just an awful situation at that point. Zach Tom's out of the game at that point too, so I think he did what he could do. I feel like now's the time for him to step up if he wants to. He is the leader of the team, I should say. I'm not saying if he wants to be leader. He is the leader of the team. This is the time for him to step up and kind of put everyone on his back and say, all right, this sucks, but let's go. We can do this still. So,
yeah. I have things to say like that later on. To your point on pressure, he was pressured on 21 out of his 40 throws.
Yeah.
Talking over 50% of the plays that Jordan Love was under pressure. Denver does that, but Jordan Love completed 10 of those 21 passes and threw both of his interceptions in that situation. If you look at when he's kept clean, like Simon said, he's really good when he's kept clean. When there's no pressure on him, he's surgical. He's 14 for 19. That's 73.7% when he's kept clean. So that includes passing against one of the best defenses. So if you just keep the pocket clean, Jordan Love will pick you apart. And unfortunately, the Packers weren't able to do that very much. Steve will definitely get to that as well. But looking at it, you guys both mentioned Zach Tom. To me, that was a blood in the water moment for a team full of sharks. Yeah. That's how I felt about that. Obviously, losing Christian Watson is a bummer for your passing offense. But like I just said, keeping Jordan Love clean, Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave were the guys that led the team in targets this week. So I'm not saying you didn't need Christian Watson, but he had other guys to throw to. Matthew Golden is another example. Like, there were guys to throw the ball to even without Christian Watson in the game. Zach Tom, to me, was the blood in the water moment for the Broncos pass rush. Other than that, I'm not super bothered by the first interception. Yes, he was trying Pat Surtain, but they were going for a kill shot. I have absolutely no problem with that. I've talked about it all season. Like, I'd like to continue throwing the ball downfield. We've seen Jordan Love do it very well, and I've harped on not throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage more than a handful of times a game. So I'm not mad at that interception at all. I'm not mad at trying Pat Surtain. You're giving your best playmaker in your wide receiver room an opportunity to go make a play. No complaints there. I did want to give Jordan Love credit for, after a special teams penalty started the Packers at the 3-yard line, he ripped off 2 huge gains for 26 yards apiece to get the Packers moving on that drive. So I wanted to give him credit for that. But Jake, is there anything else you wanted to add on Jordan Love?
Yeah, pinpoint accuracy in the first half. He was so good in the first half. That was like, oh, yeah, this guy is top 5 quarterback. This is the guy that we've been talking about last couple of weeks. Toyota thought Jordan Love is here. Second half, I still think he made some plays, especially some clutch plays. I talked about that on the third downs. I thought he was still good. Obviously, the 2 picks doesn't look great, but when you add context to it, it makes a little bit more sense. Last thing I'm going to say, there is no goddamn way in hell you ever let your quarterback get punked like that ever again.
Oh yeah, with
no freaking way I watched that happen on the Packers sideline and nobody started fighting for the quarterback. No, hell no. We fighting. We are fighting.
What happened? I must have missed it.
What's his name? Push his head in the ground.
Early in the game with no penalty.
Not happen ever again.
I mean, the ref was back towards him. They were never going to call him back. They should have beat the crap out of him.
I don't give a shit about the ref. Somebody off the bench better come out there and protect his quarterback. The old line, what are you doing, bro? Where is Josh Sitton and TJ Lang when you need them? Hell no, that better not happen again. Hell no. That pissed me off when nobody stood up for him. Remember the play? This was the run the table year, 2016, 10 years ago. Rodgers runs a touchdown and he has to We're getting killed. Everybody's fighting in the end zone. You do not hit my quarterback like that.
That's all right. Greenlaw got punked later in the game by Josh Jacobs, so it made up for it.
No, that did not make up for it. That better not ever happen again. I'm serious.
I hear you.
Jump out the stands next time, Jake. You got it.
Dude, put me on the sideline. I'll fight him. I don't give a shit. I'm going to get my ass whooped, but I'm going out there.
Jake might be the guy to punch somebody wearing a helmet on their head. That makes me laugh every time I see it.
They just need to choke him and then wait for the other play or for Greenlaw to smack him.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Go off, King.
Steve said, "Go off, King." All right, let's jump into the preview.
He called you a king.
Game behind us as much as we can. Steinman, I'll start with you. What are you looking for from the Packers defense against the Bears this time in Soldier Field, the second matchup in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they adjust to what Ben Johnson did with Caleb Williams. I mean, we're only talking 2 weeks away, so I'll try to make this quick. What we talked about it a lot, like 60-some% of the plays, it was a Caleb rollout. They're trying to make it easier for Caleb Williams to make his progressions, but also like having someone on the edge that can speed towards him on those rollouts. We saw, like we talked about, Rashawn Gary's he's not really that fast. Caleb Williams, he can run. Caleb Williams can
run Rashawn Gary times 2 weeks ago.
So it'll be interesting to see how they counteract that. And then just keep up what you did with the run defense. I think they've done a tremendous job bottling up the run between 2 of the better running offenses in the league. I will say, too, if Evan Williams doesn't play, that's going to hurt. I know we'll talk about that when we get to injuries, but Evan Williams has been an absolute monster in the box this year, coming down from the deep safety area to make some plays up near the line of scrimmage. He's been so good at it this year, and if he's out, it's gonna be a tough loss. So hopefully, interior defensive line can step up their game a little bit. Edge Cooper's been good the last couple of weeks, and in run defense as well. And then we'll see what happens. It looks like Luther Burden and Rome Odunze are probably not playing. I don't know about Luther Burden. I know he got hurt or whatever. I'm not sure what his status is. So DJ Moore doesn't scare me with his -4 yards. Colston Loveland, I know we kind of talk crap about him, but he's been pretty good the last couple of weeks. Actually, the last few weeks. And so we're gonna keep an eye on him as well.
Bryant, what are you looking for from the defense?
Yeah, I think it all starts again with now. Caleb Williams looked decent. He looked decent against us. This one thing I'll say that really sucks about losing Micah is I feel like the Green Bay was about to put Micah on the side that Caleb loves to roll to and say, "Here you go, good luck," because that's where Caleb seems to be making all his damn plays. So if I'm Green Bay, I'm sticking I don't know Quay Walker or Edgerrin Cooper on that play and say, "You spy Caleb Williams the whole time, and the second he rolls out, make sure you have someone to cover the tight ends because that linebacker's job is going to be just scream at him, go hit him,
Yeah.
hit him 15 times this game in that situation." Just continue to put him on the ground because they just need to. He's going to want to roll out. It's like that's where he makes all his plays. Everyone's like, "Oh, look at the amazing throw he made to DJ Moore." Don't get me wrong; it was a good throw. It was an ill-advised throw. He got lucky that was intercepted.
That was a terrible throw, in my opinion.
Like
he threw that into a ton of traffic.
Yeah, so he's going to throw a couple up. Probably we need to. Hopefully, our cornerbacks will catch him. But if anything, the first thing we need to do is get someone out there to spy because he wants to roll out. Don't let him do that.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's just slow down the run game, which we did a decent enough job of it last time. So I think we just need to slow down the run game and then dial up some blitzes and just don't let him run outside the pocket. And when he runs outside the pocket, there should be a linebacker. The linebacker shouldn't care what's happening behind him for a tight end or anything. That should be someone else's job, like one of the safeties. Just scream straight at Caleb and make him make a play. So I just, for the defense, we just need to slow down the run and then do something about those stupid outside rollouts that Caleb was making all his plays on, and I think we'll be fine.
No offense, Scott, but I really don't care about Bears fans' opinions.
What
do they
have something to say about that? I guarantee it.
And I think it's kind of crazy we open this as favorites this week.
That's the first thing I was going to say, dude. We're freaking favored on the road back-to-back weeks. This one
without Micah Parsons?
I said that to you yesterday, Tyler.
Yep. And Steve made a good point. We didn't have Micah for the past 30 years either.
It's true.
All right, Jake, what are you looking for from the defense?
Yeah, so third down defense, we're 17th in the NFL in conversion rate, 39%, 17th on the road at 40%. Third down offense, the Bears are 5th in the NFL in conversion rate at 44%, but they dropped down to 18th at home, so that's weird. Red zone, we are 24th in the NFL, touchdown only percentage, 62.5, so that's not great. That has to get better. Bears offense, they're 5th, 59%. So red zone is going to be very key. It was last week, obviously. I talked about that. Contain. Have to contain Caleb Williams. His best ability is his ability to escape pressure. He is very athletic. He can make throws off platform. If we do some blitzes, they have to get home. And I wrote down, for the love of freaking God, can our DBs catch the damn ball? Please. That's what I got.
All right, so looking at this is something that was brought up in the comment section. It was brought up when Jake and Brian were talking at the top of the show about the defensive line. Lucas Van Ness now steps into a massively evacuated role, as does Kingsley Enagbare, who had some bad penalties last week. Lucas Van Ness was already basically looking at starting at D tackle last week, was already going to be kind of the guy who's going to be seen to be filling in for Devontae Wyatt. Now without Parsons, you have essentially two, like I said, your two most important defensive linemen vacated due to their injuries, their season-ending injuries. So the other guy that Brian brought up is maybe Warren Brinson. So now if we're looking at potentially putting Lucas Van Ness back out onto the defensive end part of the game, you're looking at Carl Brooks and Colby Wooden and saying, you guys are auditioning for jobs. If we don't get more from you, I think, and I'm not saying that this is what the Packers would say to those two, I think they're going to look at replacing those guys in the draft next year. We're seeing the defensive line depth tested. That's what these guys were drafted to be. I'm not saying these guys were drafted to be starters, but we've seen them do good things. Colby Wooden in his play diagnosis and Carl Brooks in the pass rush, we've seen these guys do good things and flash. Now is the time that we need you to step up more than ever. If you can do that, you are winning yourself jobs and money in the future. If not, prepare to be replaced. That's where I'm at with Carl Brooks and Colby Wooden.
Yeah. I mean, they're both fourth-year guys anyways, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right. That's where I'm saying. Like,
that's exactly what he's saying. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Yep. Brian, what are you looking for special teams?
Yeah, it's a windy city, so just be prepared to kick on some crappy turf. Jake will talk about the weather. I don't think the wind will be too much a factor. Hopefully, this game just continue. It was nice to see. Like I was nervous when McManus was rolling out the first 50-yard plus touchdown in a while, and he drilled it. And then you look good on his other kicks. So just keep that rolling. And then I feel like we've really been battling field position the last 3-4 weeks. We need to do something to where we're kind of winning the field position battle. And that kind of goes back to I don't love Emmanuel Wilson returning kicks. I think we need to stop just touching people on special teams. Just let them run. If they're going to make the tackle, fine. But as soon as you touch anyone, I swear how many times you see every NFL game, some defender running down the field just dives forward and they're like, oh, block in the back, even if they didn't get touched.
Yeah.
So it's just every damn play. And even on the one that pushed us to the 3-yard line, the guy swats the ball back from the 11 or 12-yard line to the 6. And then you can't do that. I don't even know what the hell they were thinking there, like why they put it at our 3-yard line. But just play a solid. Special teams have been very solid aside from the penalties, but they're going to throw penalties every chance they have on special teams. So just short the blocking a little bit. I'd love to see him put Nixon back there. It's not going to happen, but hopefully Savion Williams is back this game. And then, just continue to do what you're doing and make your kicks.
Dude, I literally texted Tyler on Sunday. I said, dude, we cannot run a special teams play without a fucking flag coming out.
Yeah, you can't.
It's just, I watch other games, and I'm just like, holy shit, they ran a kick return. There was no flag throw. That's pretty weird to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Offense. Simon, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's up with Christian Watson. I honestly hope he plays, but I hope he's healthy enough to play, if that makes sense. Like I want him. I don't want him like rolling out there with limitations. Maybe he can run a bunch of decoy stuff, take a bunch of guys with him downfield on some plays. But if he's just like not healthy to go, I get sitting him for another week. I don't know exactly what his injury was. I saw chest, which I thought he broke his collarbone at first. That was my first thought. So it's good to hear that he's like kind of up in the air at this point. I will say we need another strong run game. We'll see what happens with Josh Jacobs. I think they said he didn't practice today on the walkthrough or whatever, but that's what they did last week, and then he ended up playing anyway. So I have a feeling that's kind of what's going to happen this week. He's going to get a ton of rest and see how his knee goes again. And then the other thing, too, is just, when you're one-on-one battles and as a wide receiver, give Jordan Love some time, and then he can carve up I'm not that scared of the Bears secondary, to be honest with you. I don't think Jalen Johnson's as good as he was like a couple years ago. He hasn't played that well this year. He made I don't know if you saw that play he made on Jerry Jeudy though. I didn't even know he caught that ball, dude.
That.
Yeah, I didn't even know he caught it because he was like so casual about it. Good play by him, but I think that was a Jerry Jeudy thing.
It was like a bank shot off of Judy's chest.
Yeah,
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, literally. I couldn't hold his hands.
But yeah, a good strong mix of running and passing. I think the offense is going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
Yeah, so third down is going to be obviously key. Packers are still first in the NFL in third down conversion rate. Still first on the road. Bears. They rank 13th on third down defense, 37.82%. They are fourth at home, though, so they're very good at home on third downs, 34.67%. So that'll be strength on strength. Packers have been very good on third downs this year. Jordan Love has been elite on third downs. His ability to run with his legs has helped a ton, I will say.
Yeah, much better than running on his hands.
So
you don't know that. You don't know that.
You're right. I don't know that. I've never seen him try.
There's still really plenty of talent on this team on the outside
with his legs while he's running on his hands.
Yeah, maybe. Be nice to lean on the O-line to control the clock a little bit, I'd say. Run blocking has been much improved. Do not know the status of Zach Tom. I do think that Zach Tom's going to try to go. He will have a week off afterwards because we play Saturday to Saturday. If this was a Thursday game, I think we would be like
holding everybody out.
I think that Josh Jacobs wouldn't be playing. I think that Watson wouldn't be playing. Tom, the fact that it is a Saturday game, I think is a good sign for all those guys to play. So I do think that, and the turnovers that the Bears get is just insane. have to take care of the ball. Packers been good at that, obviously, last week with two turnovers. And yes, Steve Kennard is a very good run blocker. That's why it's so key that Zach Tom plays so we can run that big set where Kennard comes in as an eligible receiver, but then we can just run it down your throat. That will be key. When we get to the weather, you will know why.
Yeah, and Scott, I'm going to say something when we get to your point as well. Bryant, what are you looking for from the offense?
Yeah, so I'm kind of – we'll see what happens with Zach Tom and all that. But this game, I kind of want to beat them at their own game. Hopefully Josh Jacobs is healthy, but this is where I kind of had enough of the Emmanuel Wilson experience if he's going to do some dumb shit like run right into someone right in front of him. Get Chris Brooks out there who had a couple of nice plays and runs. Yep. And I want to run the hell. There are one of 4 teams in the NFL that allows 5 yards per carry or more. Run the ball against them. How about we are the ones with the 14, 15-yard play drives, taking 8 minutes off the clock, keeping their best, their best asset is their offense, right? We've talked about their defense. Yeah, their defense has crazy amount of turnovers or whatever, but it's a lot harder to, force a fumble, knock on wood, than it is to get an interception. So this is kind of a game where I'm like, let's just slow it down. We're really beat up. Let's kind of do like what we did against the Minnesota Vikings, just run the hell out of the ball, shorten the game, go in there, power through them, and leave there. I put it this way. If Green Bay wins this game, I think I think it's going to lock up the NFC North for us in a certain way. Even if we lose this game, if we beat the Ravens and the Vikings and the Bears lose to San Francisco and the Lions, which is very plausible.
Yes.
I think he paused up. Yeah, we would end up winning the North, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
I think obviously if we win this
would actually help us.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what was the last thing you heard me say.
You said if we win the last 2 and they lose the last 2, then
but we're still the number 2 seed very likely because the Eagles, have to go into Buffalo yet, and it's 1 loss and they can't catch us. So there's a lot ahead of this team, and if you're asking me right now with the injuries we have, trying to get that 2nd seed is hugely important. And yeah, I know we'd have to go if we can take care of our 2 games at home, we have to go on the road to LA. Well, guess what? LA is going to be a 50-50 crowd if we end up in LA. So,
60-40, bro.
Yeah. So what we need to do is there's so much in front of us right now. If we can go in there and take care of business and do what people say we can't do. So, offense, you got Jaden Reed, run some of those end rounds that actually started working and run the hell out of the ball and get
even
Josh.
If
we need to get Jordan Morgan on the field and then have Kennard be the 6th in those situations, do whatever you need to do. I feel like this is one of those games, like if we can run, a few 14, 15-yard play drives and score touchdowns on those, that it's kind of going to really wear down Chicago's defense, and their offense is going to be a little dejected because they're sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, I can see that. For me, I am looking, like Andrew is saying, like to see Matthew Golden get more than 5 receptions. I haven't been a super force the ball to Golden person. In fact, I've been pretty adamant on keeping the ball spread around because it puts pressure on the defense that they can't key on one single guy. So I'm not asking for Matthew Golden to get 8 targets this week, but he was 3 for 3 last week with 55 yards and drew a pretty crucial defensive pass interference penalty. I think he's earned a few more targets. Whether that's 5 targets this week, whether it's 6 targets this week, I'm okay with that. I think he's earned some opportunity there, similar to how Bryant is talking about Chris Brooks as far as carries are concerned. He has earned some touches just by the way that he plays on special teams and pass protection. He has earned some carries. And obviously when he's gotten those carries, he's done decent things. So, in my mind, he's earned some of those opportunities. That's how I feel about Golden. And then looking at last week with Luke Musgrave and Jaden Reed leading the team in targets with 6 apiece, those guys did well with their opportunities. I think it's still weird to me that Luke Musgrave can't catch a ball in stride, that he has to fall down every time he catches the ball. But I mean, as long as he's catching the ball, it's fine. As far as the depth is concerned, Micah's injury affects the defense, but the offense should keep rolling, keep slinging. Steve said it's hard to think about any of the Packers getting more than 5 catches. They just spread it out 5 targets. Yes, and absolutely, I agree with that. The Packers are number 7 now with their bad week in the red zone. They are dropped down to number 7 in the NFL at 64.7% touchdown percentage. Chicago is number 22. They just held a team to 3 points, and they are still 22nd in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage that they allow at 60.5. So if the Packers can do something like a 3 for 5 in the red zone, that sets you up 27 points. That's the Packers' magic number. I think if the Packers score 27 points, I don't know that Chicago's putting that up against this Packers defense, so I think that puts you in a good position to win. As far as coaching goes, Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley have an extremely unenviable job in front of them. Figuring out how to maneuver already without Tucker Kraft and Devontae Wyatt, but now without Micah Parsons. I think this is an opportunity, and Matt LaFleur said as much that Jeff Hafley is going to have some wrinkles. Some new wrinkles. I think this is an opportunity, and I don't know that he necessarily wants it, but his name is already being brought up. If Jeff Hafley wants a head coaching job, he can absolutely earn himself one in the next 3 weeks in the playoffs. If people see, like, hey, the Packers lost Micah Parsons, the second best defender in the NFL this year, and figured out a way to coach around that and took the Packers to, help take the Packers to the NFC Championship game, it's going to look real good on his resume. So that's what I'm looking for as far as coaching is concerned. So, Bryant, what are those injury designations that we're watching?
Yeah, I mean, good Lord. Sorry, I took a screenshot of it. Let me pull it up real quick. So for the Packers,
just a quick disclaimer: this is estimated.
It was 16 people on the
estimated.
So Chris Brooks was limited. Brent Cox was full, so it's a decent chance he comes off the IR this week to replace Parsons. Matthew Golden was full participant, so he's looking fine with his wrist. Josh Jacobs did not practice. I think Simon is right on. They're probably doing what they did last week with him. Darian Kennard was limited. Marshawn Lloyd is done for the year.
I think he's done.
He's done for the year.
As a Packer, dude.
I don't think he's done as a Packer. We get nothing out of cutting him or anything like that, but I think we let him come back to spring training next year and hopefully he can stay healthy and they can figure out what's going on with him.
I mean, he'll for sure go into training camp and stuff next year. There's no reason for them not to.
Yep.
Yeah, so Colin Oliver, it'll be interesting. I still feel like they're just going to shut him down and not have him play this year, but you never know now if they've seen something out of practice where, like, hey, he can outfill this kind of role where he moves around. I'm not saying he's Micah Parsons. No one's Micah Parsons besides Micah Parsons, but he would have been limited with a hamstring, so that's not a great sign. Zach Tom would not have participated. I know Zach Tom said he was feeling good or fine, so we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. Lucas Van Ness with his foot would have not participated. I have a feeling that's more like they were just, resting him. Christian Watson would not have participated. Josh Wiley would not have participated. Dontavian Wicks would not have participated. Evan Williams would not have participated. For Evan Williams, he said it wasn't as bad as what caused him to miss like 4 weeks in college, but it sounds like it's a 1 to 3 week injury, so I don't expect him this week, unfortunately, even though he's super important. I don't think he gets on the field. And then Savion Williams would have been limited, so that's the Packers. And then for the Bears, the two big ones to watch. So Rome Odunze apparently re-aggravated his foot before the game during warm-up, so that probably does not bode well for him playing this week. And then Luther Burden, who's been actually really good for them, making some nice plays. He rolled his ankle or hurt his ankle, so we'll have to see what happens with him. And then it is possible they'll have Tremaine Edmonds back. They opened up his window. But he would have been limited today. And then another linebacker, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. He's did not participate with his hamstring. So we'll see. But the main two big ones for them would be their two wide receivers.
Yep. Steve said Burden is day-to-day. And yes, I did see earlier, Steve brought up the comment that Ben Johnson did say that they're considering shutting Rome Odunze down for a playoff run. So they might be considering shutting him down for the last 3 weeks of the season. That is on their radar as a potential thing. So, Jake, what is the weather going to be like?
Yeah, so every time I talk to somebody, they're like, oh, it's going to be nice in Chicago this week. It's supposed to be like 40s. I'm like, yeah, this game's played when the sun goes down. Do you live in the Midwest? It's cold as shit when the sun goes down. So it looks like a low of 19 degrees. Real feels around 10 to 12. Northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So this is just going to be a classic black and blue division football game. I think the offensive line is going to have a lot to say what happens in this one.
Absolutely not, Scott.
Scott said signs Zadarius Smith, and that's definitely
No,
not.
thank you.
He's washed, 100% washed.
Yeah.
Dude, I would rather sign Dean Lowry than Darius Smith, dude.
I would rather sign Preston Smith.
Dude,
Yeah.
seriously.
Okay.
Probably help our cornerback room too.
Yay. Now you're thinking. Who would you rather see in coverage, Bryant? Is it Preston Smith or Isaiah McDuffie?
Probably Preston Smith. He locked
Hey.
up Jefferson.
Hey, if he can lock down Justin Jefferson, he can cover anybody.
True.
All right. Simon, who's your X Factor?
X factor is going to be offensive line play. I think, especially pass protection. I think they've been pretty good in the run game. Like I said earlier, I think pass protection, keep Jordan Love upright and clean in the pocket is you just see peak Jordan Love Toyathon. And if it's going to be a good game by Jordan Love, it's going to start up front.
I like it. Bryant, who's your X Factor?
Yeah, mine's Josh Jacobs. Kind of go with Simon's. Hopefully he's healthy. I mean, he looked damn healthy. They said the reason he went to practice today is because he took a hit early in the game. Well, what happened after early in the game was he made one of the most disgusting catches you'll see a running back make, and then he busted off a 40-yard run.
I don't think we talked about it, but that was a good block by Bo Melton too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, on that run.
I think we missed out on that. That's my fault, but that was a great block by Bo Melton.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Tyler to tee it up, but I was thinking about that one would have happened, and then the world fell apart. So, but still credit to Bo Melton, and there's another wide receiver. Someone else made a nice block on that too. I think it was Anthony Belton, but yeah. So Josh Jacobs is my X factor. If he can, crack the 100-yard mark and really kind of carry a lot here, and maybe Emmanuel Wilson's turn around and have a good game. But if he's doing the shit where he's running into the line, they just need to give some carries to Chris Brooks because Chris Brooks look good too, and Chris Brooks is much better in pass protection.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
Scott said Jaden Reed. Andrew said Brandon McManus. Steve said Javon Bullard. If Williams misses the game, he'll go back and Hobbs will be in the slot.
I think
to blow up the run.
I think what's his name played back after Williams got hurt. Zane Anderson. Thank you.
Yep.
I think he ended up playing that deep safety spot. So I expect Bullard to still play in this slot. At least that's my guess.
Yeah. Jake, who is your X Factor?
My X Factor is also Josh Jacobs. We need Josh to help control the clock, keep the crowd quiet, keep the Bears offense up the field. The red zone was an area of concern for me on Sunday. Josh Jacobs is obviously, I would put him as a top 2 running back in the red zone. The guy just knows how to finish drives. I wrote down his stats versus the Bears for his career. He has 96 carries, 412 yards, and 6 touchdowns. In every game, he has played 6 games versus them, 3 with the Raiders, 3 with the Packers. One of his games was where he had 6 carries for 44 yards and a touchdown, week 18 last year. So versus the Packers, he's had a touchdown. As a Packer versus the Bears, he's had a touchdown in every game versus the Bears. 44 carries, 206 yards. That's a 4.6-yard average. So Josh Jacobs has been eating versus the Chicago Bears, and he'll be key in this one.
So I went with the middle linebackers, Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper. And this is to Brian's point, talking about spying and covering Colston Loveland. So I think if the Packers, and to potentially help their pass rush, can play maybe with 5 defensive linemen at times to help, obviously, get more pass rush, but also to potentially help stop the run of Chicago. And you say, hey, Quay and Cooper, you guys are arguably our 2 best defensive players. Obviously, Xavier McKinney is in the back. 2 best defensive players left in the front 7. Let's say it that way. And say, hey, between the 2 of you, whichever way this play is going, one of you is going to be taking Caleb Williams, and one of you is going to be taking Colston Loveland. And interchanging the 2 of them in that type of situation. So those 2 chasing around those 2 from Quay and Cooper to Caleb Williams and Colston Loveland. All right. Simon, I'll let you go first. What is your score prediction from the head?
I mean, I still think we have a really good shot against Chicago. I have us winning. I have us winning 30-20, 27. And it'll be another close game.
I have the same margin of victory, but I have 27-24.
I have the same margin of victory, but I have 23-20.
All right, Jake, what 3-point victory do you have predicted for the Packers?
I have a 4-point win. I have 24-20.
Close.
Sorry.
Simon from the head or from the heart?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean we can still. I think we can still take it to them. I have us winning 30-17.
Hey, me too.
I'm pretty close. I put our magic number though. I put 27-17.
I have 34-17.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I'll take that.
I think if we run the ball, I think we could beat their ass, honestly.
Yeah, I do too. If we take away their running game, like if we get up quick on them, I'm not confident in Caleb's abilities at all.
Well, the thing about the Bears is, like, first of all, they run the ball good. That's good.
They do.
They win a lot of close games. That's not sustainable. We've obviously seen it with the Vikings a couple times. And they force a lot of turnovers. That's something. Those are two of the major things that are not sustainable, especially in the playoffs. So I think they could easily lose a one-score game. If they don't force the turnovers, we saw it in the first matchup. We kind of took it to them a little bit.
Yeah, I think all the pressure is on the Bears for this game.
Absolutely.
If we go into there and beat them in Chicago after all the injuries we've had, after all the shit they said, after they only lost by one touchdown, they almost flew a banner that said we only lost by a touchdown.
This game wasn't about winning. It was just about proving we could hang with them.
I'll give you my bonus, Simon says right now. I have put that the Bears fans have a mental breakdown after this game. If we go into Chicago and beat them, social media is going to be a must-read for hours on end. And the compilation of the fans like losing. You might literally see divorces after this game.
Broken televisions for sure.
They'll be doing the Cowboys tradition of breaking their TVs. They'll say,
There'll be a lot of domestics in Chicago on Saturday night if we win this game. I'm telling you.
Domestic disturbances is what it
is.
Disturbances.
Yeah.
Yelling only.
Television breaking. Scott said Hart split with the Bears, 28-24. I mean, that's not outside the realm of possibility. Like, none of us are going to say that just because we have, we predicted scores to favor the Packers. It's not going to shock anybody if the Bears win this game.
Yeah.
Steve said, cue the Breaking Bad gif. He can't keep getting away with it. Yeah, it's really is. We're like and it's the same thing. After week one, Lions fans are like, just wait till we see you on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Just wait till we see you on Thanksgiving in Detroit.
Yeah.
Bears fans just only have a 2-week turnaround. They had to wait. Lions fans had to stew for like 11 weeks. So Bears fans have only had to wait 2 to get their rematch. So
their confidence is at an all-time high right now. So I just pray that we win this game because it's just going to be glorious.
That would be great for the vibes.
Yeah.
Dude, if they go in and win this game, the Packers, dude, like you're thinking about the Bears, they're trying to take that next step. We are like the final boss for them for the next step. Honestly, if you think about it, like mentally.
As far as the regular season is concerned, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Jake, give me your first, Simon says.
That's cool because I have 3. We doing offense first? Because I'll do offense first.
Sure.
So offense, I have 36 minutes of time of possession. I think that would be something that would be really, really good. The Bears are 4th in the NFL in time of possession, averaging 32 minutes and 7 seconds. The Packers are 18th, averaging 29 minutes and 46 seconds. It is what it is. They scored fast a couple times, so that kind of, hurts some things. But I would like us to possess the ball a little bit more in this one. This one feels like a possession game.
I like that one. Bryant, do you have one for offense?
Yeah, I know. I 100% agree with Jake. Mine's different, but I agree with him. That's what I'm talking about. If we can really kind of play their game this time.
Mm-hmm.
And like what we were doing earlier in the game is we were trying to, win by playing their game. Now I kind of want us to do this. I'm just run the hell out of the ball on them. But the funny part is I'm saying run the hell out of the ball. My bold prediction is the first 100-yard receiver game goes to Matthew Golden and he gets his first touchdown this game. I felt like he started to come along a little bit last game. If he gets more opportunities with Christian Watson on the field, I could see him popping off this game and kind of cementing himself in Green Bay Packer lore as a rookie, like going into Chicago and putting some yards up on him.
I like that one a lot.
I swear we've had a 100-yard receiver, right? Or no, we had a 100-yard rusher.
Yep.
Just Tucker Kraft.
There was a Romeo Dobbs game where he had like 93.
Yeah, I think Golden had like an 80-some yarder early in the season too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Tucker
I'm
Kraft
going
is
to
the
jump
only
in
one
on
that's
the
over 100
offensive
yards.
part of this because Steve said it's a bold strategy, Cotton. I'm going to say that Love kicks off his first super hot, like run the table type moment. And I'm not saying that like the Packers are just going to like win out, but that Jordan Love goes on just like an absolute heater where he's like just MVP level games for like so many games straight. And I'm going to say 4 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, I like Jordan Love a lot this game.
Let me jump in real quick. This one's more of like a hope than a prediction. I want Jordan Love to run a touchdown in and hit the belt.
Oh,
that
would be disgusting. Dude.
I don't think he would do it.
I don't think so either,
sick.
but it would be disgusting.
Oh, that would be so sick, dude.
Talking about a mental breakdown, if he does that with like 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter and that's the game-winning play, I'm telling you, Chicago might burn to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, or to hear him yell, "I still own you."
Or if he goes like this, like points down, like I own you or whatever, like
or like puts his hand out and like does a signature.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be sick.
All right, Jake, you got one for defense?
I do. I think the Packers force 3 turnovers.
3.
That'd be sweet.
I like it. Bryant, you got one for defense?
Yeah, I put that the defense rises to the occasion for Micah and gets 3 sacks, which is good against the Chicago Bears offensive line.
I'm going to say one player specifically, and I'm going to say Rashawn Gary picks up the slack. He has 5 pressures and a sack, which, yes, is bold against Caleb because he does avoid sacks very well.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Simon, you have any bold predictions you want to throw out for this week?
I don't. I had a thing last night, so I had to hurry up and do notes before the show.
Right. Well, that's why it's called Simon Says this segment. So we give our things to Simon and see if he approves of them or not. So, alrighty. Well, that's that. Next week we will be back. This is a reminder. This is a Saturday night game, but we will still be back next Tuesday to recap this Saturday night and preview next Saturday night. The Packers are on Saturdays for back-to-back weeks against the Chicago Bears and then against the Baltimore Ravens. So we'll have back-to-back Saturdays, but we will still be back here next Tuesday. So we'll see you guys then. And go Pack Go.
Yes, sir.